Good day, my name's Michael Adams and I'm the Global VP for Strategical Business for Panduit Corporation. So it's been a very interesting dynamics in the last few years, is that if you think traditionally within the large web scale companies and the global companies, a lot of the data around the world was fed back into the USA and it was stored into their large data centers. With the dynamics going forward, is this data is becoming valuable. There's money, there's security issues that are driven by new political leaders and about conflict across the globe. So what we have seen actually, there's a whole new concept around when you start talking about edge computing and data centers. So even in the sort of social medias or the web scale, people are starting to look at having facilities much closer to where the source of the information comes from. So as Panduit, we've looked extensively at the web, at the edge, and at the web, thinking how do this has the impact within the data centers. So we've always had large facilities within countries in Europe, Asia Pac, etc. But now they're having to have a much more global link. They may not be as large as they should be, but they have to be very close due to resilience and speed of communication. And there's an interesting concept around storing information as well. It's where in the past, the amount of storage was kept to a certain level within maybe very large in North America, but in the other region it was at a smaller level. We're starting to see, if you talk to the large OEM companies, that storage is having to grow substantially in the facilities throughout the world. So when I look at edge computing, that adds all new terminology. It was a bit of a buzzword and some manufacturers use it better than others to get more articles written about them. The reality is that we're going back to this distributed model. Latency is a huge impact. So with the distributed model, we need to store information. When we need to store information, the speed of communication between the servers, the network, and the storage are very high. And if you talk to companies like Cisco, they used to talk about the north to the south. They're now saying from the east to west is 7 to 10 times more information is transferred. So where a lot of companies in the past did not have to worry about that as much, they may have had converged systems, but the reality is nobody buys everything from one manufacturer anymore. So this is a big issue as far as that is concerned. So yes, it has had an impact, and I think the flavor of edge computing is changing dramatically. So even from a Panduit perspective that is a global supplier of infrastructure, it has had an impact to us, and we've had to start look at many new solutions and opportunities around how we address fiber within the data center and how we address fiber within the enterprise space of office environments. So I can honestly say that I was involved in the first data center dynamics event they ever had, way back in 2002, I think it was. But I look very young. What I think is very important about these events is communication and looking at what is coming in the future. So if I think about the high sky, the pie in the sky type of information that is fed here sometimes, it's quite dramatic how it changes over periods of time. Now what is interesting about DCD, that it truly is a data center event. So it has moved from a pure infrastructure, UPSs, mechanical solutions, looking at the whole data center, looking at the intelligence, looking at the infrastructure, looking at the dynamics of the web scale companies and the colo sites that are really leading the design of data centers today. They are driving change with OEM manufacturers. And these are the events often where they share that information. Now there are many events that are smaller. There are many events that may have high levels of people, but I think Data Center Dynamics has a blend that they can give you a fairly well overview of how the market is going.